Hey everyone, and welcome to my first ever Q&A video, which is also an extra special video today because it's in celebration of 100,000 subscribers on this channel, which is pretty darn phenomenal. So before I go any further, I just want to say thank you once again for all of your support and kindness and lovely comments on all of my videos. I've had so much fun getting to know so many of you, and I'm excited to welcome even more subscribers into the Downshiftology community. I'm also excited for today's Q&A video because I think it'll give you a little bit more insight into me, the person behind Downshiftology. Now, I received over 100 different questions between YouTube and Instagram, and of course I can't answer all of those questions today, but I will try to answer the questions that popped up most frequently. After the questions, I do have an awesome giveaway today, and you definitely want to stick around for that. But for now, let's just dive right in. I have an undergraduate degree in international business from Pepperdine University, and I have an MBA from USC, which is the University of Southern California. So my entire career has been in business and marketing, but the industries I've worked in have varied. I worked for a NASA technology startup company early in my career, and I was an advisor to the UN, and I lived in Afghanistan for a year. But that's probably a whole nother story for another day. The bulk of my career has been in healthcare, and I was a marketing executive for a world-renowned cancer research institute, a diagnostic imaging company, and a molecular diagnostics company. So this isn't exactly a short answer, but I will try to keep it brief. About 6 years ago, after years of a bunch of random, unexplained symptoms that seemed to add up over time, I was ultimately diagnosed with celiac disease. At the time, I had massive fatigue that I just blamed on being an overworked executive. I had seasonal allergies that kind of came out of nowhere. I started getting some skin issues like eczema, and I would have bouts of dizziness and fainting spells, along with other random symptoms. So I visited dozens of doctors, and I was given an inhaler for the seasonal allergies, I was given corticosteroids for the skin problems, and I was told that I just had really low blood pressure, which is why I was lightheaded and dizzy all the time. But over the course of several years, I felt like we still weren't getting to the root of the problem, so I turned to Dr. Google to see if I could connect the dots and find some sort of commonality between all of these symptoms instead of looking at them and treating them individually. Well, this autoimmune condition called celiac disease kept popping up, mainly from blogs with personal stories, and I'll admit that while I'd heard of it, I didn't really know what it was. So I asked my allergist at the time to test me for it, and while she was reluctant because I didn't have classical textbook symptoms, I persisted. And my lab results came back, and I was ultimately 8 times the positive level for celiac disease. So I was kind of off the charts. After that, I became well-versed in everything autoimmune, and all of those other symptoms started to finally get names like Hashimoto's, psoriasis, and endometriosis. After all of my diagnoses, I continued to work in corporate for a couple of years, but finally reached the point of just complete burnout. And it was about this time that I started to realize the importance of things other than food on wellness, like stress, sleep, and self-care. So I left my job and told myself that I was gonna take a year off to reset my life. And that turned into 6 months of taking time off and 6 months traveling the world. And it was a trip that my friends and family referred to as my version of an eat, pray, love trip, because I ended up spending 2 months in Sydney, 2 months in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and 2 months in Bali. But in that year, I learned how to manage my symptoms and really nourish my body through diet and lifestyle. So on a bit of a whim, I started Downshiftology with the hopes of inspiring others to forge their own individualized path to wellness and make small yet powerful changes. And as for what drives me, it's this community, it's you guys. Every time you comment on a video and you tell me that you've adopted some healthier habits, or that you've felt the best in years, or even that your husband has eaten zucchini noodles for the very first time and he loved it, that's what drives me. To have a community that is supportive and positive and uplifting is beyond rewarding. In the science world, ology means the study of something. And what benefited me the most after going gluten-free was reducing stress, prioritizing good quality sleep, eating simple, fresh food, and prioritizing self-care. So essentially getting back to basics and downshifting my life. Thus, Downshiftology was born. I actually received this question several times, which I thought was funny, but I am 41 and my birthday is August 31st. I was actually born in Auckland, New Zealand, but my family moved to Southern California when I was 18 months old. Ironically, for the first 37 years of my life, I was only a New Zealand citizen and got my American citizenship 4 years ago. I have one brother who is 2 years older than me, and he frequently makes appearances on my Instagram stories. And even though we are 41 and 43, we pretty much just act like 12-year-olds when we're together. My family is all really close. I talk to my mom several times a week. And while my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 10 years ago, he is still the most positive person that I have ever met. I do not, and in fact, I never really cooked much before I started Downshiftology, but I could whip up a gluten-filled, sugar-filled cake like nobody's business. Many family and friends for years said that I should open a bakery because I was quite famous for whipping up really extravagant cakes, especially for my niece and nephew's birthday. But in hindsight, let's just say it's a good thing that I never opened that bakery. I'm a firm believer that there is no one best diet, that we are all extraordinarily unique based on our genetics, our microbiome, which is our gut bacteria, our lifestyle, our ancestry, our environment, and so many other things. And this is why a certain diet or a certain diet modification may work for one person, but it may not work for you. One of the things that you may have noticed on Downshiftology as well is that I don't prescribe to or define myself by any one label. Now, my food may be labeled as vegan or paleo or low carb, and that's simply so that you guys can find what you're looking for easier. But when it comes to how I define the way I eat, I say that I just focus on healthy, whole foods and wholesome ingredients, and for me, those happen to be gluten-free. This means that I can easily flex and modify my diet should my nutritional needs change, or my hormones or my digestion change, or how my body responds to any individual ingredient. Because I choose to eat the way I do, first and foremost for wellness, that means I'm always listening to my body and modifying based on what makes me feel my absolute best. All right, of course not. I am definitely not perfect, and nor do I strive to be. I just try to do the best I can the majority of the time. But I have been known to polish off an entire bag of gummy peach rings, which have no redeeming value and are pretty much pure sugar. I guess it's sort of like eating a Cadbury egg every year at Easter, and I do that as well. So this is a good question to answer after the previous, and here's the thing. When I indulge in those less than stellar food choices, I tend to feel like crap the next day. And over time, I have learned that I don't like to feel crappy. So once you become really mindful of how your body is responding to food and connect the dots, it is far easier to practice discipline. Absolutely not. So if I were to eat gluten, it would set off a massive autoimmune flare and chain reaction inside my body. And while I may physically feel better after a day or two, studies have shown that that inflammation in my body could actually persist for several weeks, if not months, which means that I would then have a weakened immune system. And if my body's immune system is preoccupied fighting gluten, that means it's not doing its proper function, which is fighting cancer cells, viruses, germs, and infections. I wear my ring on my right hand because I'm single, and I actually bought this ring for myself on my 35th birthday. I think many times we are always waiting for someone else to buy us a really nice piece of jewelry, especially when it comes to rings, but I was really proud of myself and my accomplishments in my life at that point in time. So when I turned 35, I decided to splurge on a Tiffany ring. Oh gosh, you guys, I am horrible when it comes to any sort of beauty routine, though I will say that I have started to adopt higher quality, natural, and organic skincare products as I've gotten older. But when it comes to my hair, this is definitely a case of genetics over anything that I have personally done. Though I will say that I have never once dyed my hair my entire life. So all natural hair, but if you see it getting darker or lighter as the seasons change, that is simply due to the sun and Mother Nature doing her thing. When I left my corporate career, I did become a certified health coach and took on clients that first year. But as Downshiftology has grown, I no longer provide any type of personal consultation. I get a lot of inspiration from friends and family and other food bloggers, restaurants when I'm eating out, and of course traveling from all of the different spices and flavors. And because I'm gluten-free, if something inspires me and it's not gluten-free, I'm always looking for ways to modify or tweak it, or perhaps make it a little bit healthier. But food, first and foremost, no matter how healthy it is, always has to taste delicious in my books. Oh boy, do I have some travel stories. But to answer the first question, traveling as a celiac definitely adds a layer of complexity, but it is 100% doable. And I've actually found that eating overseas and while traveling many times to be easier than eating in the US. At my core, I am a massive wanderluster, and I have actually traveled all 7 continents, including Antarctica. But I have travel stories from living in Heidelberg, Germany in college. I did a study abroad program, to living in Afghanistan with the UN and traveling through India and Pakistan, to taking my mom on a few little adventures through Kenya and Tanzania and South Africa and Antarctica and Egypt. And then more recently, I had some adventures motorbiking my way around both Thailand and Bali. Travel is the one thing that absolutely sets my soul on fire. And if I ever have any lingering autoimmune symptoms, they all seem to magically disappear when I'm traveling because I am so extraordinarily happy and relaxed. I'll probably have to do some videos on healthy travel in the future, but if you are interested in traveling the world healthy, happy, and gluten-free, I did write a very comprehensive ebook on the topic, and if you're interested in that, I will leave the link for you below. My kitchen is definitely not as clean as you guys always see on these videos, especially right after filming the videos, and I usually show some of that aftermath on Instagram stories. I received a lot of questions on specific recipes and ingredients, so as a reminder, all of the recipes that you see on my channel are also on my website. But on my website, I can go into far more detail in the cooking process, and I usually provide extra notes and tips on the recipe page as well. So more than likely, your question is already answered over on the recipe page, but if it's not, just pop me a comment and I will answer that as well. I thought that this was a very thought-provoking question to end on, and after some recent conversations with family and friends, to be honest, I don't know if any of us are where we thought we would be. I mean, I, for one, never imagined myself single and with no children at 41, and I definitely didn't imagine myself getting diagnosed with a whole slew of autoimmune conditions. But at the same time, I also didn't imagine having a very successful career in healthcare, becoming an advisor to the UN, traveling all 7 continents, and making friends around the world. So one thing that I have learned in my 4 decades of wisdom is that life always keeps things interesting. But right now, I couldn't be more happy and grateful to have Downshiftology and this amazing growing community of millions of readers and subscribers, which is a heck of a lot more than just my mom, dad, and brother following me now. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about this giveaway. Many of you know that one of my favorite items in my kitchen is my Vitamix blender, and Vitamix has generously donated one A3500 blender, which is the same model that I use, to one US subscriber. Now, unfortunately, due to electrical and country-specific requirements, we can't ship this one internationally. But not wanting to leave out my international subscribers, my good friends at Zwilling have offered up one Zwilling Pro 12-piece knife block set. And these are the exact same knives that you guys see me use in my recipe videos to one international subscriber. And I will personally pay to have it shipped anywhere in the world. So here's how you enter. To enter the giveaway, you need to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel with the notifications turned on. So click the red subscribe box and then the notification bell. Then in the description box of this video, there will be a link to enter the giveaway, and it will verify that you're subscribed to my channel and ask you for your name and email address. And this information will only be used to contact the winner. Now, because we have 2 different prizes that are location dependent, you do need to list the country in which you live. After that, if you'd like additional bonus entries, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest. Just click on each link, which will take you to each social media platform, and click the follow button. And lastly, you can share this giveaway with your friends, and if they enter, you'll get an extra entry as well. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about me today, and if you have any burning questions that I didn't answer, feel free to pop those in the comments below. In terms of new videos, I have 2 coming up very soon that are highly requested. And that's another meal prep video and a what I eat in a day video. And those will be in addition to a lot of regularly scheduled recipe videos. Thanks again for all of your kindness and support on my channel, and we will see you guys again in the next video.